Yes, hello.
Hi, it's Annie Bergeron-Oliver with CTV National News.
Hi, Annie.
Hi. You were asked in the debate about Bill 21 and why you wouldn't open the door to the government intervening. Are you concerned that taking a stronger stance on this bill will hurt your chances of getting MPs elected in Quebec?
Well, I want to make it really clear. I believe in the current court challenge that's happening and the right for that court challenge to continue without any interference. At some point, if this gets to the Supreme Court, of course, any Prime Minister legally would have to take a look at it. But at this point, what I want to make very clear is I'm working every day when I go to Quebec, letting folks know that that's not the way to go ahead. Divisive laws don't help our society, and I really believe in uniting and bringing people together.
Okay, and on a slightly different subject, the NDP is still more than 15 points behind in the polls, and your party has been in a distant third since the beginning of the campaign. Do you feel that your performance tonight is enough to close that gap in the 2 weeks remaining in this campaign?
Well, I hope the performance tonight, I hope that Canadians got to see the choices that they have in this election, that they don't have to choose between two parties that are working to make life easier for the richest, but making it harder for everyone else. And I'm hoping people see in me someone that's willing to fight for them. Because I don't work for the rich, I work for people. And I want to make their lives better with healthcare investments, housing investments, and tackling the climate action, the climate crisis.
Bonjour, Michel Lamarche, TVA.
C'est où?
Ici, Monsieur Singh. Sur la loi 21, on vient de vous entendre. Vous semblez avoir changé de position. Là, vous nous dites qu'en tant que premier ministre, si ça se retrouve devant la Cour suprême, vous allez devoir
Supreme Court,
examiner cette loi.
then you would re-examine that law. Well, it's a legal procedure regarding any Supreme Court challenges. It's normal that the Prime Minister should look into it. But I have said all the time that now that there is a case before the court, I will not get involved. But what I will do is show that a divisive bill is not good, and what I will do at all times is to find ways to bring people together. Well, but if it gets to the Supreme Court, then you'll intervene in your capacity as Prime Minister. I'm trying to understand your position. Right now, it's a legal matter, and legally, any Prime Minister have to look at what is happening at the Supreme Court, and that is normal.
Hello, Mr. Singh, Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News.
Hannah!
Hey. I would like to ask you, coming into this, you felt that there was one too many people on that stage. Do you still feel that way, and do you still feel that Mr. Bernier should not be here on Thursday?
I made my position really clear on that, and nothing changed after tonight.
Do you feel, you said leading into this that this was going to give him the venue to spew hate. Do you feel he did that tonight?
I think that it's clear with the propositions of that party, the type of commentary they make, it's divisive, and I don't think that has a place.
Monsieur Singh, Philippe Vincent Foisy, Radio-Canada. Je veux juste bien comprendre ce que vous dites.
I would like to understand
Vous dites
what
que la
you're saying.
porte, elle est ouverte.
You're saying the door is open
gouvernement néo-démocrate
to an NDP
intervienne
government
en Cour
intervening
suprême
at the
sur la loi
Supreme
sur la
Court
laïcité. C'est bien ce qu'on
on
vient de
the
vous dire.
Secularism
On veut juste
Act.
comprendre.
I'm just trying to understand what you just said. Well,
c'est quelque chose qui existe, donc je
in terms of jurisdiction, this does exist legally.
Comme un avocat,
And as a lawyer, I understand that there is this issue when a matter is before the Supreme Court. Legally, the Prime Minister and the government have to look at what is happening. And what I have said is what I have always said, which is that I don't want to interfere in the current case. And it's important for us to avoid interfering. And one thing I always do is to show that I disagree with laws that divide Canadians. I'm in favor of Canadian laws that bring Canadians together. But we have Mr. Trudeau saying the door is open to challenging the bill if it gets to the Supreme Court. And on the other hand, we have Andrew Scheer saying, no, we will not intervene if it gets to the Supreme Court. So Mr. Trudeau is saying it's irresponsible to not intervene, and that's what you're doing in Quebec. Today, you're saying you will not intervene at the Supreme Court, or there is the possibility that you will probably seize a legal opportunity. No, there is no difference between the two, not at all. What I said is that there is a normal process, and I know that it does exist. But what I have always stated is that I don't want to interfere in a case right now before the courts, and it's important for us not to intervene there. And I'm just repeating what I've always said, and I will keep repeating the same thing. So what I said is the same thing. It's the same position.
Mr. Singh, Molly Thomas from CTV National News. You talked about how you want to fight that you fight Bill 21 every single day. So why are you not willing to fight it for the people that don't have the place or platform that you have right now?
Well, I mean, I'm using my platform really clearly. I go to Quebec and I'm saying I want to run for Prime Minister, and I get asked the question every single day. Right now in this press conference, I get asked the question again and again, and I welcome that. I want to be able to take the opportunity to say it's wrong to divide people based on the way they look. And I want to win over people in Quebec and let them know it's wrong to divide people and make it legal to divide people and to discriminate someone just because of what they wear. It's wrong. And I have the opportunity to do that every single time I go to Quebec, and in fact, every single time I have a press conference. And I'm happy to make that really clear. It's wrong.
It's wrong, but you won't intervene.
Well, there's a court challenge right now, and I make it really clear. I do not want to interfere in any way with that court challenge, and that's been my position. I've been very clear on that.
But you won't intervene on your. You won't get involved on your own. You see it as something separate from what you intend to do.
I think it's very important that we don't interfere with the court challenge, and I made that really clear.
Would you leave the door open, like Mr. Trudeau has said, to a court intervention?
Well, Mr. Trudeau is just stating a matter of fact, just the fact that there's. No, I'm saying that very clearly. He's just repeating a matter of fact. I said it already, that there is, anytime a court matter gets to the Supreme Court, the government takes a look at it. He's just stating a matter of fact. That's true. Any Prime Minister has to look at a court issue that gets before the Supreme Court. So, of course. What I'm stating is that it's a matter of fact that any matter that gets to the Supreme Court, the government and the Prime Minister will take a look at it.
Justin Ling, freelance. This debate was supposed to be an opportunity to talk about foreign affairs, and we didn't really get there. So I'm wondering if you have any opinions about what Canada ought to be doing in terms of northern Syria. The Trump administration just greenlit Turkish invasion of northern Syria. Would you have Canada defend our Kurdish allies?
I think it's really troubling what Mr. Trump just decided. It's going to destabilize an already really unstable region. A region that's been plagued with massive human rights violations. I think that first and foremost, we've got to put international pressure on making sure people's human rights are protected, that there isn't going to be a massive just damage and perhaps horrible violations against the Kurdish people. We've got to make sure at a global level we're working towards peace and diplomacy, and this decision is going to destabilize a region that's already facing a lot of instability.
On a totally different question.
Sure.
Would you accept a cabinet post in Justin Trudeau's government?
And what I made really clear is that I'm running to become Prime Minister. And as Prime Minister, I will work with anyone that wants to advance things like universal pharmacare and our dental care program. I've only ruled out one party, and that's the Conservatives.
Monsieur Singh, l'inaudible, la presse canadienne. On va essayer une dernière fois.
Let's try once more on the Secularism Act. When you say that once it gets to the Supreme Court, the Prime Minister has to look into it, does that entail intervening or not? Well, it's a legal matter. It's a hypothetical case. But what I mean is that legally, as Prime Minister, as a government, you have to look at any case before the Supreme Court. And as Prime Minister, I will look into that. What I am saying, though, is that I have always said that I will not intervene because there is a case now before the courts and it's important to stay away. That's my position. But what I will do as a candidate wearing a turban is to show Canadians, Quebecers, that I am fighting against climate change and I'm for free choice and I'm for the LGBTQ community and I'm against divisive laws. When you say you will not intervene, does that mean you will not take part in any challenge against the Secularism Act, even if it gets to the Supreme Court? I have always stated my position that is so clear. I don't want to intervene in a case before the courts, and it's important that we should give the current challenge time. What I have always said is that I want to win the minds of Quebecers and to show them that, look at me, I'm for the women's right to choose, I'm for the LGBTQ community, I'm for the fight against climate change, and I'm in favor of fighting for a more just society, against tax havens, and I'm in charge in favor of taxing web giants. We can work together, even though I wear a turban. Thank you.